There you go.
There we are. We're live, and welcome,
Hello,
David.
hello, Christine. How are
Christine,
you?
Hendricks, and David are off the cuff. I'm great. Some technical glitches. We're finally here.
That's right. Yes, we are finally here.
We're finally here. I was just saying to David that it's a little different on my laptop. I couldn't get my phone to work for some reason. Um,
Oh, that's
anyways,
okay.
we're here.
It's business work. Things happen. That's fine.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Um, oh, that's fine. You, my brain is a mess tonight. Oh yeah, so I briefly was speaking to you behind the stage while I was trying to get this laptop working. So we haven't really spoke too much.
No,
Let's just start light. um, okay, so what is your favorite quote and who said it?
okay. One of my favorite quote is actually said by somebody that he used to be a professor in Columbia University, but nobody knows his name. Why his quote got quite famous? Because one of his students is actually his name is Li Kai-fu. He was the president of Google for Great China for many years, and Li Kai-fu is also one of very high executive for Microsoft, Apple, and Google. So he has worked with many very very high tech companies um, at a very high exec level. He went to Columbia University in the same class with President Obama. So they had the same teacher. And in one of the Li Kai's book, he said, this professor said once in the one day, this professor in the class, and he said, now you're very young students there. They are maybe Obama is about maybe 20, and he said, you know, here's the quote. Imagine there are two different words, one without, one with you, one without you. Now, the difference between these two words are the things that you need to pursue in your life. So, in other words, in other meaning is you need to make the difference of these two words as big as you can. One with you, one is without you. So, I think this is a very powerful message. So, we tend to think that the word can be same with or without us. But if we look at it, the world is different without us. Then this is our job to make the difference as big as we can. So therefore, this is my principle for for me to get up every day morning. So I'm always thinking, hey, if I help Christine to do these interviews, am I going to make this world a little bit different? Maybe somebody hear my message, somebody may not hear my message, but that's not my job. My job is to make the difference of two words the biggest I can. Yeah.
Mm,
So there you go.
you're very choppy on this end. So can you say the quote again one more time? Just say it a little
Okay.
slower,
Yeah.
and hopefully that'll go.
Okay. So imagine there are two different words. One with you, one without you. And your life purpose is to make the difference as big as you can.
That's a great quote. So there's two worlds. Imagine one with you and one without you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
And
difference of these two words is your life purpose.
sorry, say the second part of it again.
Your life purpose is to make the difference as big as you can.
Oh, your life purpose is to make the difference as big as you can.
Yeah.
That makes sense because
Yeah.
if you have the two, I'm going to move back here. If you have two worlds and you're not in this one, I mean, you should have a big difference, right?
Yeah. But a lot of us are not making too big difference. Why? Because people always thinking that, oh, I don't have to go to work because the company can survive with or without me. Some people do that in the family. Oh, I don't need to show up for my family because they all be happy with or without me. And that's actually a very wrong thinking, because we are here to make a difference, right? And the bigger difference we can make, the bigger purpose we have. Yeah.
Absolutely. That reminds me of that. It's an old movie at Christmas time. Um, A Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. Have you ever seen
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie?
Yes. Beautiful
It's
movie.
that It's exactly that concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a very tiny, maybe a smile to a stranger, maybe give a hand, like a random kindness, that all those small things that makes a very, very big difference in your life. And overall, for your entire life, you make a huge difference, on your existence in the world.
Yes, I agree with you on that. You know, like a smile makes a difference. Being kind, like you said, makes a difference. And your impact on the world, sometimes, we think we have to do these great, grand things, but sometimes they're in the smallest things that make the biggest impacts.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you, Christine. Like a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of young people, they tend to think, hey, I need to work like Elon Musk. I need to send mankind to Mars, and this is changing the world. But it's not. It's something that maybe I'm just being kind to you, and it makes huge difference in your world that day. That's the true meaning of making difference.
And I appreciate you coming on and being here with me tonight.
Oh,
So thank you.
anytime. Thank you.
It does make a difference. I
Yes.
actually started off the day not so great, and so now I'm going to finish it on a great foot.
Thank you. That encouraged me to go through my day. I'm in Australia, so I'm in the morning now. I'm in the lunchtime, so you will get me through as well.
Roll with the punches, right? Life throws you curves, and life throws you curveballs. You just got to hit them out of the park.
Yeah.
Is that a quote? Did I just make up a new quote on the spot?
Yeah, that's a new code. Yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
I'm gonna have to Google that one.
Yeah.
um, okay, so you have multiple messages in you, and I know you just shared one. Do you have another message that you would like to share?
Yes, I do want to share a message. I think in life we all go through difficult moments. Like everybody has some degrees of difficult moments, and people always. I know a lot of people say that. People always think that those moments are there to, um, we have a natural inclination that we want to get those bad moments pass as quick as we can. But my message is those moments happen for some big reasons. And they're not here for stay, but they're here to actually helping us to become a better version of ourselves. So I really believe that instead to wish the bad things to go disappear as quickly as they can, because they will come back in different forms. You should wish that every time you had bad things happen, every time when you have those dark moments, you need to know those are actually the best environment for you to grow. Because without those moments, you will never grow. Imagine you grow. Imagine you were born in the palace. Imagine you were born. Yes, you have all those servants. You have all those monies, but you know you might not even enjoy the life as it is. It's those bad moments that making us in 10 years, 20 years later, when we look back, you're like, wow, I can't believe I went through those difficult times. And those are actually very precious memory in our life. Yeah. So don't
Zero
waste those
said
bad
no,
moments.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, don't waste those bad moments. Try to remember them. Try to
Yeah.
try to experience. Try to remember what experience, how that made us feel, because later on, and that's how we grow.
So Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish it was easy. Wish you were better." I think that's how
Yes,
that goes. Or make
yes, yes,
yourself better. I think it
exactly.
should be make yourself better.
Yeah, don't wish it's easy, because if you want to, if we it's I know everybody think that we all want to wake up, wish to have an easy day, but we know if we mentally prepare, say we're not going to have an easy day, we're just going to have a better day, because there's no easy day. We never know what's going to happen. What we're going to, who we will bump into, what's going to happen throughout the next 24 hours. But if we want to have an easy day, you're going to have some rough time, because when you have the rough time come, you're mentally not prepared, because we just want to have an easy life. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's another quote. If it's easy now, basically, I think it's life gets harder.
If you want to
If
live
it's easy
easy,
now, life gets
yeah.
harder. I forget how it goes exactly, but
If
if you do the
if you want to
hard
live
stuff and
easy,
the
you will
hard
have
work,
a hard life.
oh,
Yeah.
you,
If you want to live,
yeah,
if you want to live hard, then you have an easy life.
that's right. Yes, exactly. So do the
Yeah.
hard work now, you have an easier life later.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's a good one. Um, I actually would like you mentioned mental health
Yeah.
earlier, just like the 2 minutes we had to kind of briefly talk.
Yeah.
Can you, what is your message on mental health? Because I know there is a lot of people struggling right now. And I
Yeah.
know, um, the mental health right now of people, I believe is so much in need of strong messages to help people right now. It's such a difficult times for so many. So can you share a message with us, please?
Yeah. See, I think mental health, I'm actually advocacy on the Mental Health Foundation Australia. I'm one of the multicultural ambassador. The reason I would like to advocate that message is, I think mental health is everything we have. Even your physical health is based on mental health, because if you are not, if you're mentally not well, you won't have a physical health as well, because you're not going to have that. You're not going to eat healthily. You're not going to do exercise every day. Um, it's going to cause your physical health deteriorate as well. So I'll put the mental health in the first. And the way I look at mental health, I look at we have a inner child, then we have our self, then we have a higher self. We have three different forms. This is how I look at it. Mental health is something that connect all three together, because to have a healthy mental health, we need to know who we are, because the reason we all
Who
we
be
all have
you?
that. Yeah, so like when we go to, if you step into the mud, it's like life. We all step into a mud at some time, and if we don't know who we are, if we don't know our strength, if we don't know our weakness, and we sometimes we just very hard to pull ourselves out of that messy situation. Then you get tangled in. And also, if we know who we are, the more we know who we are, the less we take other people's opinion. And a lot of mental health matters are because what other people say about us cause us our burden, cause our stress. From very, very young age, we would like to dress as to impress friends in the school. We don't want to dress differently, because people might laugh at us. We might be too skinny. We might be too tall. We might be too short. Our physical appearance, we are so conscious about our physical appearance, because we don't want to be different. And when you are different, people will laugh at us. That's how we brought up. Everybody is like that. So to pursue what we look outside, we lose our inner child. We lose who we are. And the minute we start losing who we are, we start getting very, very mentally very unstable. And I don't know, from the very, like, let's say everybody use social media. And I often said, If you look at social media, nobody is unhappy. Everybody is happy on social media. You cannot find one unhappy person on Facebook. Everybody's happy. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's sweet on Instagram. Can you find ugly people on the Instagram? No. Everybody's beautiful. So it costs that social media costs even more strike our mental health because we look at other family. We're like, wow, why Christine family is so happy? They never fight. Then her and her children just in the harmony. Why everybody is so in peace? But it's not like that. But once we know who we are, we know who they are better because then we know everybody is a human, and everybody has that kind of difficult time that we don't like to show people, and that is very normal. But if we break that kind of barrier, say, hey, everybody has that mental problem. It is not shame to share people with your difficulties. It's not shame to share with people that you fell before. It's not shame to share people that you had that you have done things that you shouldn't be doing, and then everything breaks down because that out coat, when the coat outside that melts, everybody deep down, everybody is same. And when you realize everybody is same, then you will feel you feel the peace. You feel it's peace inside of you, and you are no longer to competing with people, and the only person you are competing with is a better version of you and yesterday, and that will brings you abundance, that will bring you peace, that will bring you happiness and joy once you realize who you are, once you realize who they are, and the rest, it doesn't really matter. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
very big on
I
mental
like.
health. And I know it's very easy to say, and it is one of the hardest things to do to recognize who you are because it's we are human. We go to a shopping center, and if you buy your daughter a toy, it is our natural thinking that to look at what other fathers getting for their daughter. It's like, oh, is that going to be better than my present for my daughter? It's the comparison is always there, and the more we compare, the more it takes burden on our mental health, and that's just the way it is. But we try to go through that barrier. Yes.
Well, I
Sorry,
like
I
what you
interrupted
said
you
about.
talking.
Sorry, I like what you said about how other people think nobody else is going through these things. And I've had a lot of offline discussions with some of the people that I know.
Yeah.
They'll put a post up and I know they're struggling. One person in particular, lost her son to a drug overdose, and the things that, it's like, so in that conversation, her son was very similar to one of my sons,
Mm-hmm.
and my son is still alive. um, but I had a son, he went to jail for um, being involved in drugs and selling drugs, and he had an addiction problem. And I shared within the group, and I don't know if I've shared on my personal Facebook page, but and I'll get to why in a second. But um, you know, I shared this because her and I were talking, and like I felt like kind of like, I know there might be other people, but it can't be that bad. And so when she shared with her son passing away, I connected with her and had conversations with her. And, when my son went to jail, I was relieved because the time I saw him and the next time I knew he was in jail, I thought I'd be burying him, and I was afraid for him. And knowing that other people are out there going through the things you're going through, and being able to have somebody to talk to and have support is very important. But sometimes we don't know where to turn, what to do, and so for me, I was ashamed as a mother, thinking this is how my child is. And
Mm-hmm.
being a mother and raising this child, like that shouldn't happen. And I put the responsibility on myself,
mm,
and I wouldn't share it. And now, I'm ready to share. So I appreciate that you talked about that.
mm,
And I'm really hoping this will be helpful. These conversations I'm having with you and other people in the group, getting their messages out there, are going to be not just helpful but impactful in the way that it's going to maybe change somebody's life. So when I ask people, share these videos, maybe you're not having an
mm,
issue, somebody else on your timeline may see it and go, I really needed to see that today. It's
mm.
going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference out there. We're going to impact people, and we're not even going to know it. So I appreciate that you shared that. And I'm glad that you are putting out these messages, and I'm glad you're going to be on stages.
Mhm.
um, so, uh, let's go to something a little lighter.
Yeah.
What's something fun you like to do?
What's a fun thing I like to do? What I like to do is, well, yeah, I think fun things is, I personally like play golf. So I like to, like, I take my son because I try to get my son, my daughter to play golf. But they're very young. So I like to spend some time on a golf course with friends. I think fun is, I'm 45. So for me, fun is no longer, when you were young and go out, I used to spend a lot of time, everybody can, like young people, they like to go to bars, disc clubs, and go to those, a lot of people like New Year's Eve. But for me now, fun is just, hang out with a couple of good friends, have a glass of wine, and just having a laugh of, you might just turn on the TV, look at some news, and just make, I think fun can be, for me, it's just it can be everywhere as long as you don't take the things too serious. I know a lot of people having that kind of difficulty. I think it really just like, nothing is too serious because, you know, our health is the most serious because if we're dead, then there's no good for us. But apart that, if all your family is healthy, and there are things that can be turned into very fun things. It's not a, I know people. I should, probably shouldn't say that on the live, but I know people take COVID very serious. I know it's a lot of people had but when you look at this war situation, is everybody's a lot of people having a very difficult time now to going through this COVID. But I often say to friends, it's already here. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So we might just, you want to, you either want to take this lightly or you want to take, do whatever way. Try to do some fun things, and you might just take your daughter to walk like 10 meters out of the house and try to sneak now because in Australia we had a quarantine, we had a lockdown for 4 months. We couldn't leave 5 kilometers more than our house. I say just maybe take them to 5.5 kilometers. Just I don't know, just break a little law, have a little bit of fun. It's harm nobody. I think these days to looking for some fun stuff to do is very important. People are taking things very seriously, I know, um, but fun things can be everywhere. But especially with your family, with the close ones, and this is the people that really matters. You know, um, it's not like I,
Absolutely.
yeah. When I used to think is fun things to hang out on the New Year's Eve with a bunch of friends and in the downtown area. But I've changed. Like those things are no longer attract me. I just want to lightly hang out with even just a Sunday afternoon, having a glass of beer, wines with friends, have a laugh. Yeah,
Well, things have changed, too, with COVID. I think COVID and some of the things that have gone on have changed people's perspective on things,
yeah,
and what they value too. Like,
yeah,
being able to
exactly.
spend time when you can't see your family. I mean, we've been going in and out of lockdowns, so you know, it's been a crazy time, and
Mm,
like you just can't travel like you said, and we've been dealing with this, and I don't know like what's going on with where you are, but we have a lockdown, we come out, oh, now we got
mm,
to be locked down again, and people are getting tired of it. But in the beginning, It's like, well, I can't see my family, can't see my family. Now it's like, no, I'm going to go see my family because I know these, like my one son with his family, are not going, like they're not traveling, they're not doing this,
Mm.
they're doing minimal, so it's like, okay, so like we're contained within our family. And
Yeah.
that I might go see my mother, but the same thing, she's not going anywhere. So, and okay, so she's not going anywhere, they're not going anywhere. and
Mm.
then and then like on the other side of things, of my mother is like, if she does go somewhere, it's like maybe go see my sister, but then my sister doesn't really go anywhere. So it's really a small group right now. It's like it's only really family I've seen. I have friends I haven't seen in over a year because we just don't want to take a chance to go see them, and
Mm.
like, that. And I hate that feeling. I can't imagine some of these people with autoimmune issues. My husband has that, and
Mm.
but I know one lady is pretty much terrified to go anywhere or do anything. And
Mm.
so it's difficult times for some.
Yeah.
And anyways, all right, let's your one wish, if you could have it, what would it be?
Well, if I had
Oh,
one
and
wish, I really wish.
sorry, hi from Ontario, Canada. I got to get rid of that, but thank you, Sandra.
No, Sandra.
So
If I had
David's in
one wish,
Australia.
that's
All
a
right,
very, very
sorry.
difficult question. That is a very deep question. Now, if I do have one truly wish, is I just wish that I I'm a healthy person, because I think without health we don't have anything. Especially with COVID, everybody knows. And I want my family to be happy, and I know as long I am around healthy, my family will be happy, right? And if you we can talk about building a multi-billion business and uh, having that brilliant new idea and take to Silicon Valley and get on the stock market within 3 years, and you might work, you might be becoming you want to becoming a CEO of Google or Apple. You can have all those dreams, but without your health, without your health, there's nothing matters to you. You won't achieve any dream unless you are healthy, which is your mental and your physical. It's just impossible to have your other dreams to be grander unless you have your health. So if God comes in front of me and say, Dave, what do you want? I say, well, I'm not going to live forever. So one wish I had is for my remaining years, I want to be healthy. I want to be happy, because as long as I'm healthy, I know I can take care of the people around me. If my family is not healthy, if somebody get along the way, if they become ill, if I'm healthy, so I am capable to take care of them. I think this is one of the biggest things I can leave for my children as well. Not money, because if I leave money, if they're not smarter, they're going to spend all the money. If they're smarter than me, they definitely don't need any more money. They can make their own money. But if I'm healthy, I can spend time with them. I can go out with my grandchildren. I can go out with my children. If I'm healthy, that means they it's less burden on them, and they don't need to be worried about, is my dad in the hospital and this. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, that's if
You,
one wish. I want to be
I do
healthy
know.
until the end of my life. Yes,
That's a great
very
wish.
simple wish,
I
but yes.
really do know. Last week, my husband had a mini stroke, and I had to go to the hospital. And this ties in with
No,
COVID again.
yeah,
So when I dropped him off, I went into the hospital with him, but I could only go in the front door, and
yeah,
I couldn't go any further with him. They don't let you, and that's another horrible thing about COVID. So I don't know.
yeah,
I think my wishes would change as things go on, but right now I just wish COVID never happened, and or that it
yeah,
wasn't as long. But
yeah. Yeah, I'm
all right,
totally
but
agreeing with what you said about COVID. It has changed everybody's perspective on life. All the dreams we pursue. I mean, what you're going to do with $30 billion in your bank account if you lie in the hospital and you can't even use them. And if you
yeah,
quarantine at the home, what you can do with all the money? What you can't travel. Before we said that we can travel around the world. Now you can't even travel. So money really
I just
doesn't mean
traveled to
anything.
Australia. I'm in Australia right now. You're in
You know,
Canada.
I know. You know,
No. So I had oh, I just went out. I had a question for you. Oh, yes. Um, so I know there's something interesting about you because the first time I talked to you, you told me something very interesting about you that maybe most people, when they, what do you do right now? Is it tied to what you originally did when you were in Canada and when you were younger? Is it
I
different,
was
completely different?
I was a professional dancer for many years. I
That's what
did,
I was
I did.
looking for. But are you still doing that, or are you doing something different?
No, no, Have quit dancing for over I think 20 years now. About 15 years. I quit when I was 30, so I'm 45. Yes, and I never actually teach anybody. I never actually taught anybody. Um, I never went to school. I mean, I never went to school try to teach. After my career, I just quit completely. Yeah,
I thought that was really interesting that you were a dancer and you did ballet, right?
yeah, I did ballet. Yes, I studied in China. As I was recruited into by the government, by the Chinese government. So never had any choice. So they went to my primary school and they just recruit a bunch of kids. We had to go through many different exams. Yeah, then they recruit us. I think they recruit about 14 of us, and from the whole country, the whole China that year. We have to go through trainings, 10 hours trainings a day, 6 days a week for 7 years. Yeah, then my dad migrant to Australia, so I went to Australia for another 4 years further study. Yeah, then after I graduated from Australian Ballet School, I got a job in Vancouver. So I was dancing for a Vancouver company for 2 years in Vancouver Go Ballet in Vancouver. After that, I went to Hong Kong. I got a contract for Hong Kong Ballet for another 10 years. Yeah, so traveled a little bit around in my career time. Yeah, for the about 25 years.
Wow, that's really cool. Now, you said something that piqued my interest. You said you didn't have a choice. So
Now,
when they came to recruit these children, what if you
yeah,
actually weren't a very good dancer and you weren't coordinated? Like, what would have
no,
happened?
no, they actually what the way in China is they went to a maybe like a year 3, year 4 class in each primary school. Um, they can have dancing, sports, gymnastic. They all do that. They recruit childrens. They don't want you to have any experience because they think that with a blank paper, it's easier for them to draw things. So if you have learned dancing, they will not recruit you. For example, gymnastic or sports or tennis. If you have learned tennis before they recruit you, they might not want you. It's not a must, but they might not want you because they want you to teach you from the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. So they came in and they say, okay, we're gonna take these kids and we're gonna work with them, and you didn't have a choice.
Now you don't have a choice. Well, and like now they probably now you can choose, but when I grew up, in 1980s, in 80s there's no choice because so they select you. You have to go through like 7 or 8 different exams. It takes 6 months to go through those 8 exams. So at the end, they say, okay, David, we are going to recruit you to learn full-time dancing for the next 7 years. And it is a boarding school, so you need to live in the school, and everything, tuition fee, your food, the boardings, everything is being paid by the communist government. So yeah, and you have to go. So it's not a question if you want to go or you don't want to go. It's not a question you get to go. You not get. It's like you just go. That's
I'm having a
in
hard
China.
time.
I'm sure you. Yeah, I'm sure you
I'm having
understand.
a hard time wrapping my head around that because
It's,
today,
it's a communist. It's a communist government, so it is operate on that level. I don't know if you have seen that movie, Mao's Last Dancer. It is like that. So you don't get to choose. Yeah.
sorry, what is the name of the movie again?
There's a movie called Mao's Last Dancer. It's a true story about this Chinese dancer, which is I know Li Chunxing, how he escaped China. So back then in 1980s, there's a lot of story about Russian dancers and Chinese dancers escaped from communist government. Mm. It's a true story. So it's the same. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. You know, you don't get to choose. You have to. Once they pick you, you have to go. Same like these days.
Sounds like
Yeah,
an interesting movie. Sounds like an interesting movie. Maybe one
yeah.
I'll have to find and watch.
Mao,
Thank you for sharing that.
Mao. It's like Chairman Mao. Chairman
Wait,
Mao.
hold on.
Mao's last dancer.
Hold on. Let me see. So, how do you spell that?
Mao. Mao.
Mao.
Yeah, last dancer. Mao's last dancer.
Last. Oops. Hold on. Let me put this in here. Dancer. So Mao, last dancer. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put that in the chat.
yeah. And just Google that, and you'll find it's a very interesting story about how communist government that they recruit professional performing arts people when they were young. So they still do that in China. You know, if you're a gymnastic, if you a tennis, sports, soccer, they still do that. They still go to a primary school to recruiting the children's. Yeah, once they recruit you, you know, people wouldn't want to go because, you know, in Asia there's a lot of competitors in any market. So if the government recruit you do something, you want to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mouse
So
Last
that's the
Dancer.
name
Yeah,
of the movie, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds
with
like an
mouse,
interesting movie.
with S. So Mouse Last Dancer.
Maos.
Yeah, with a comma on top, like Mouse Last Dancer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna put that in, but now people know.
yeah.
They can add the S, the
It's a good
apostrophe
book
S,
as
right?
well. Yeah, it's a very interesting book as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, so I had another question. What was my question? What was my question? um, you know what? I just briefly, because we're running on a little bit of time here and I want to be respectful of your time, just briefly, can you share a little bit about maybe something in the Les Brown group that really has made some kind of impact on you, small, big, whatever?
Okay. Now, Mr. Brown has impacted me big time. In my first meeting, in my first training, um, I told him, told everybody a little bit my story was after I quit dancing, I went through some really difficult time on my mental health and issues. My business wasn't going well. I was losing a lot of money. I lost pretty much all my money, and I would just randomly found Les Brown's video on the YouTube and start watching him. I start listening to him. There are times that I couldn't find a way out, and I just kept listening to him. So he kind of saved my life because without, I was in the stage I want to do some really stupid things to end my life, and but I just had one thing in my head. I want to listen to Les Brown, so I listened to him maybe I would say at least 2-3 hours a day for 2-3 years, that period of time. All I know is listening Les Brown's YouTube videos. It made me feel really good. It made me feel better. Not good, but it made me feel better. It made me want to survive. It made me to understand there are people out there are actually going through either same or worse than my situation, and I have no right to end my life. So as soon as I know his class, he had this Les Brown's Hungry to Speak class. I enrolled straight away. Um, and I learned from everybody. I could some of the Friday I'm very busy with my other things, but I try to get on as many as I can. I've learned a lot from people like you, people in that class. Then one thing I know is I learned is the stories. I mean, everybody in that group has amazing stories behind them. That's why give them this is the reason, give them a why to join the Hungry to Speak, so they can share the story to the world. And isn't that why we're here for, to share our story to the rest of the world, so we can impact them, to make the world different. And the only way we can make this world different is to, one of the most effective way, I think, is to share our story. And Les Brown's Hungry to Speak obviously give us a very good platform to collaborate with each other, because without Les Brown's Hungry to Speak, me and you wouldn't be sitting here in the first place. We met each other in the Les Brown's. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like kind of realize, oh, there are other people just like you, just like me, Christine, right? And we're hungry to tell our stories. We're hungry to listen to other people's story. We are hungry to make the world a better place. So yeah, this is how I learned from Les Brown's Hunger to Speak.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that too. Now,
No
I was reaching over here for my phone because I'm kind of thrown off a little bit because I'm on my laptop. I can't remember. Did you have a book?
Yes, I do have a book
Have
called
you wrote a book?
Breakthrough Success. It's on the Amazon. If you Google search, if you Amazon search Breakthrough Success, then type in my name, David He, you will find my book. Now, I'm only co-author of the book, because in that book I had my story. I called Struggle, Dream, and Victory. Then I'm only written the first chapter, and the rest of them are actually very valuable mindset skills from different other authors. So yeah, that's one of my book. I'm trying to maybe write another book more about me,
Right.
and I'm planning for next year. So I just want to helping everybody to, I just love to help average people, because we tend to think that success is very hard. And I'm not saying that I'm like huge success, but I understand one thing. If you look people like Gary Vee, if you look people like Jim Quick, if you look people like Grant Cardone, if you look people like Les Brown, if you look people like Obama, if you look at people like Oprah, you look at all these success people. The more you look at them, when I first look at those success people, I'm like, wow, how can I become like that? But the more you look at them, the more you realize those people are just ordinary people like us. They start just like ordinary people like us. And they start doing very, very small extraordinary things every day. And throughout the period of time, they become extraordinary. We can't get that in one day. That breaks our mental. That takes our, that gets people to quit whatever they're doing, because they're like, wow, I can become Les Brown. How dare I think to become Les Brown? And I don't think this way anymore. I think everybody can become Les Brown. Absolutely everybody. But you have to try every day. You have to be on different platform. Hungry to Speak is just one platform, but you have to do everything. Like you give time to I put my hands up to you, because to organize interviews with everybody, it takes your time. And you're not getting paid for this. You're not making money for this. You are making difference. So making difference and making money, they are not the same. You want to make difference, you make difference. You want to make money, you find something to make money. But if you're making enough difference, you will make money. But if you make money, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make a massive difference in the world. So that's how I learn, and I think that I that's my purpose in life. This is my mission, is to help ordinary people to do extraordinary things together. You and me, we're ordinary people. We're just doing that little extraordinary interviews, and it's going to help your friends. It's going to help my friends, people around us, to see that a little difference, and maybe tomorrow they will impact their life. So that's my mission.
So obviously you're on Facebook, because our group is on Facebook, so people can follow you on Facebook. Are you on Instagram as well?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. Everybody can find me. No problem. Just I personally have a few business going. I'm if you just say, hey, Dave, you want to do this? If I think I'm always put my hands up. Like when you say, hey, Dave, you want to do interview, I put my hands up for anything that can help people. Yeah, I'm doing that for, I'm not, I don't want to put the money or rewards into that kind of equation. I think just helping people, I think by helping you, Christine, and there are the second person who benefit from the most in this situation is me, right? If I help you, the next person I'm going to help is actually me, because I learn through all your questions. I start understand myself a little bit more. So who benefit? Maybe not you, maybe it's me. I'm the one maybe benefit the most. You know what I mean? So if you think that way, then everybody will help each other.
Well, I didn't when I don't know, I heard Les say do interviews, and he meant, I think, for us to go do interviews like what I'm doing with you. You're doing an interview, not that I'm doing this interview this way. So I don't know, the interviewee. I don't know. I don't want to get into semantics. Anyways, so when I heard him say you need to do 3 interviews a day, I was like, oh, I got to interview people. But I think he meant go be interviewed. But it doesn't matter, because this is, to me, this is exactly what I thought was, okay, he told me to do it, I'm doing it. And I didn't think about necessarily it helping me. And I didn't necessarily think about it as helping other people. I kind of thought about it more like helping each other. And now
Mm,
I'm starting to see that it's doing both, and it's really unique. It's different, and I'm loving it. So I like
mm,
being on this side. I'm not sure about being on the other side. I haven't done that yet. But, Les is interviewing people too. And I'm a little bit afraid of getting interviewed.
no, I don't think you should be.
Anyways,
You have a very deep stories. You have a stories, can uh, um, can connect with people. Yeah. In the future, I would like to interview you as well for my team, for my business, other business. I would like to interview you just to listen your stories. I think this will connect us. Yeah.
well, thank you. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to be on here, and I appreciate all our viewers for watching. And let's see here. I have a little thank you, David, for being on cuff in I
Off
can't
the
even
cuff.
speak
Yeah.
anymore. The off the cuff interview with us.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you being on, and this has been a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing what you're going to be doing
Yes.
in the future and what stages you'll be on and that book.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
I will,
Thank
I
you,
will keep you
everybody.
booked
Have
Monday.
a
Thank
great
you.
whatever it is, wherever
Afternoon.
you
Thank you
are.
very much. Take care. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, hold on. I got a comment. Let's see what the comment is. Oh, hold on. Let's see the comment before we go. It just popped up as I was going to close it. She says, "Thank you for sharing and your time you give to help others." Awesome.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you for your time, Indra,
Bye.
as well. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Take care, Christine. Take care.
Okay. Is it done? Yep. We're done. More. We're done.
Okay. Thank you. I have
Okay.
to go
Well,
now,
thank you.
Christine,
Thank
but
you
thank you very
again.
much. That's great. Great experience and
No
loved it.
problem.
Loved your question. Let's keep connecting. Then, yeah, we'll do
All right.
some tips things we can do in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to connect with people on Clubhouse and maybe do some stuff there. Anyways,
Yeah.
but okay, we'll let you
Yeah.
go. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye bye. We'll do something on Clubhouse. Just let me know.
Bye.